Sophia Cruise, my guest for the evening. You know exactly where you can find her, at Sophia Cruise. Links to all of her social media are in the episode description below. Make sure you support the content creators that come on the show. Bare minimum you could do is at least follow these folks on social media. That way the numbers get a little higher, we get some more opportunities, and then they end up on your favorite site. You know, the other links, that's when payday rolls around and your kid is like, I need to make a tuition payment. You go, look, daddy's got other expenses right now. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest for the evening, Sophia Cruise. Sophia, thanks so much for coming on with me tonight.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited to be here. Sorry.
No,
please
totally
don't mind
fine.
Willie Nelson over here.
Your dog's name is Willie Nelson. My cat's name is David. My wife was like, we need a cool, interesting name and for this one-eyed cat we got. And I go, call him David. She goes, what's cool and interesting about that? I go, have you ever met a fucking cat named David? Like, what are we doing here?
That's a good point, you know?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Let me ask you, this is an odd question to begin with, Sophia, but if the industry were to go away tomorrow, bye, goodbye, it's gone, it's banned, it's whatever, what would you put on your resume as your job title that you did over the last X amount of years?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I guess that would depend sort of on the political climate or where I'm living. I have thought about relocating to Europe several times, so I feel like there I can easily put, I was adult talent. I was in the adult film industry, you know, because that's a skill set, believe it or not.
Totally is.
Yeah.
I think about it even more than that, though. It's just your job is not just hot porn star girl. It is social media manager. I'm not sure of your team behind you, but at some point it's admin manager.
I do everything by myself, yeah.
Admin manager, social media manager, editor. Adult film star doesn't just cover all of the work you do, right? It seems like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a dynamic position, you know, and it goes based on like what your flavor of sex work is too. I know girls that are only content creators, you know, they have their own battles compared to girls that do strictly studio work, you know. And you know, the fact that we can actually pivot and know how to navigate each kind of sector of sex work, I think is really interesting, you know?
Sure.
We're all go-getters, you know, we're hustlers. We're trying to do it, you know, literally. Haha.
That's what's so cool about this. It's the job itself, the industry itself. It's not like, I guess maybe there are different types of welders. I was going to use that as a thing. You do underwater welding, you do this and that. But there's no like one defined path for any girl in this industry. You can play it slow and maybe not make as much as you want. It could just be a side gig. It could be for fun. There's just, you could go full mainstream. Your face is out there. You're doing everything. I think it's great and it creates a lot of great opportunities. Let me ask you, let's start with the boring one here that I'm sure everyone asks you. How did you initially decide to get into the adult entertainment industry in whatever field that was? Camming, dancing, whatever it was. When you go, I can't do vanilla shit, I have to step over this line.
That was in college. I was in nursing school at the time in Denver. And I remember I was just like, you know what? I kind of always wanted to try stripping. And at that point, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it now. You know, there's plenty of research out there online. I went to all the forums. I read as much as I could. There weren't a lot of strippers back then as there are now, and I try not to date myself because this was well over 10 years ago. But so it was kind of hard to meet us in person or connect on social media because, we weren't exactly that active. But I was just, you know what? I was 19 at the time. I'm hot. I'm young. I got energy. Like, I want to try a sex workout. And I remember since that day, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. This is fantastic. I want to keep going with this.
Did that fit? It sounds like it did, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did that fit your personality up to that point? Like, I could tell my wife right now, I'm going to try and be a hitman. And she'd go, well, you're a fucking pussy. Like, you can't do anything. Did that, like, if I had told some parent in the high school you went to, like, oh, Sophia went on to become a stripper, would they be like, yeah, that makes sense? Or would they be like, no, not Sophia, really?
I think there's always been a kind of weirdness to me, so I would actually like telling childhood friends of mine, like, oh yeah, this is what I ended up doing. They actually weren't surprised at all. So I guess I kind of fit up. I think people realized before I did, kind of what my path would be.
Sure. What was the biggest surprise when you started stripping? Like, was there anything where you had this impression in your mind, either from like watching late night HBO back in fucking early 2000s or the internet in general, where you were like, strip club will be like this, the strippers will be like this, the owners and whatever will be like this? And that you said you did your research, but they vary by club to club and everything else. What like caught you off guard where you went, oh fuck, I didn't know this was in part of the whole equation?
I think the thing that shocked me the most was because when I did my research, I knew enough, to be, kind of watch yourself around girls, don't give out personal information, make sure you're working at a safe club, do your research, see if it's a safe environment in general, try to see which manager is creepy or not. But I think the thing that threw me off the most was actually the sexual contact and the level. Because I remember I was 19 at the time when I started dancing, so which is fairly young now that I think about it.
Sure.
And I hadn't had a lot of sexual partners either before I started dancing too. So I think that kind of threw me off, was just the barrage of just sexual energy. But at the same time, it threw me off, but I enjoyed it. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, yeah, we're all having fun. We're all turned on. It's hot girls everywhere. Guys having fun.
Can I ask, have you always been a hot girl, and have you always known you were a hot girl? Because I would never walk into any kind of room with that kind of energy. I've never have once in my life. Like, I could walk into a fucking meeting, Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and be like, everyone hates me here. I'm a fucking loser. I'm the worst person here. No one likes me. What gave you that confidence to be able to do that?
I've always been told that I have an amazing body, but I will preface this with that I was an ugly duckling growing up. Yes, I had braces up until college. So I battled with acne when I was younger too. I wasn't always blonde, I was brunette. So I was an ugly duckling. And then when I hit college, I was like, oh man, you know what? I got some stuff going on. Like, I can do this.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and then what few sexual partners I had were just like, oh my God, your body's fucking killer. And I'm like, you know what? You are right. I'm going to put this to the test. And I did.
There you go. Did you have what was the longest time you were at one club? Like, did you ever jump, or do you like stay at the same place?
I tend to jump once in a while, depending where I'm living. But the longest, I believe, has been 6 years so far.
Did you have a song there? This is just Sophia's. No one else touches the song except for her.
Oh, yes. I don't know if I can say it because it's kind of a bad title. What is it? It's called Marijuana or Pussy by Brazilian Girls. Okay. And it's literally just going, pussy, 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 marijuana, pussy, pussy, pussy.
That's
and
Sophia's
that would be my song. No one was allowed to touch it. Otherwise, the wrath of Sophia would bring down.
Very fair. I have this question because one time after, college graduation or something, I took all my friends out. We went to Philly. I'm in Jersey. We went to Philly to a strip club, and it was all these people who had never gone before, right? Like,
interesting.
I brought like Best Buy workers that I used to work with over there, and these guys were making $12 an hour at the time, and I go, all right, let's go. So I'm, tipping all the way you're supposed to tip. At the one in Philly, it was full nude, but it's, $1 when they come around, or a tip when they come around, and they ask if you want them to turn around, you give another tip. I'm watching my friends just, hi, nice to meet you, not tipping. The end of the night, we did a count. This person was down, it's going to sound small, $34. This person was down $42. Matt was down,
matters to some people,
Matt was down $375 at the end of the night after buying everyone dances and this and that.
MVP.
There you go. Exactly. I tell you this long, boring story so that I can ask this question. How can a broke guy go to a party at a strip club respectfully? Like, I have no money right now. I got $15 to my name. I want to be respectful. There's this bachelor party going on, whatever it is. You know,
you're obligated to attend.
How do I do this respectfully to not insult the performers there?
Well, a couple things that you can do. First is I like to say one, you're probably going to have a girl approach you first. So I always like to say, hey, tell her right off the bat, just be like, hey, I'm here attending a bachelor birthday, whatever the occasion is. I'm here with my boss. I am flat broke right now. I can't spend any dollars. You're beautiful. Always follow up with a compliment, even if you don't mean it.
Sure.
Because it makes it go down easier. And then if you can, just be like, hey, that guy is your vibe. Like, he might spend money, or that guy, but just let him know off the bat. That way they're not, wasting their time. Because, I've had guys been like, oh, I don't like strip clubs, or you're not my type, excuses like that. We'll try to, work around, but
Sure.
If you just say, hey, I can't afford it right now. I literally can't. That's the most respectful way. And really, if she gets mad at you after that point, that's her problem.
Sure.
Yeah.
If
but
you're
lead with that. Don't sit there for an hour and be like, oh, hey, I can't afford the $40 dance. That's kind of a dick move. You just go right off with it. Yeah.
Totally, for sure. And I've been the guy with money at the club, and I've been the guy hitting the ATM twice going, yo, that's not going to clear tomorrow. I don't know what it is. So you always have to find a way to be respectful. And remember, anyone out there, this is a job. Like, treat these people the way you would want to be treated if someone came into your job. Would I grab your dick if you were working at Subway? No, I might, but I probably wouldn't.
Well, I can't say, well, don't get me in trouble, because I do that in the club. So, but that's my job,
Let me ask you this. Last one about strip clubs here, only because I always find the environment and atmosphere so interesting. I always make this comparison too. How's the back room at your strip club? I do have one more after this now that I think about it, but how's the back room?
I love the strip club questions. Keep it rolling.
Okay,
But
all right. Yeah. How is the back room at the club you either currently do work at, or stop in on, or anytime you do it? Because on Twitter, at least, you see porn stars kind of like friendly, and like there's the occasional someone will say something nasty and there's a dog pile, but everyone seems like kind of nice and kind of this and that. Mm-hmm. And then I've heard the opposite about strip clubs, where it's cutthroat. It's a little bit like you're not getting some sweet mentor mommy there. It's everyone's looking for dances and you're going to steal it from me. How about you? What kind of back rooms at clubs have you seen and been a part of?
I will say there are two different kinds of strip clubs. That's management run and it's stripper run. So it's either run by the strippers or it's run by management. Both of those clubs have completely different dynamics. Usually when it's heavy on management, there isn't exactly room for drama. They'll be like, no, listen, you have an issue with her, stay away. But if it's a stripper-run strip club, I will say it is kind of a free-for-all. You kind of, and it's, I hate to say it, it's not necessarily like a hazing, but it's almost just like you got to learn your chops, Like, we all came into this with, a pair of heels that weren't stripper heels and a cocktail dress, just trying to do it. So, it is a different environment of sex work. It is technically a competition. You are competing against different girls, in the same night. And I like to put it at every night day is a different battle. So, you never know what you're walking in with. And that's also based on your style too. I know girls that are super aggressive. They don't care about friends. They don't care about drama. And then there's girls that care about keeping the peace. It's kind of what you go into the club with, that attitude.
Gotcha. Last question. You didn't spoil it with that last answer, but you almost kind of made it so there's two parts to it. What about hierarchies? Are there hierarchies, like these women have been here the longest, so we respect them, or this one's the manager's girlfriend? Like, have you ever seen any kind of hierarchy? And then how do you deal with that? Also, the second part of that, have you ever been in a club where there's a girl that just everyone doesn't like? Like, all the people who work there are like, yo, Joan is such an idiot. Why do we even keep her here? Go ahead. I apologize.
Well, I'll do that last one quickly because that's an easy answer. That's just money.
Yeah.
If she's not sucking or making a shit ton of money for everybody, bad attitudes will eventually get weeded out. But it's, you're only good as your last envelope in a strip club.
Sure.
We're all there to make money. And sometimes you're not there to make friends. No, so sorry. Can you remind me of the first part of the question?
Hierarchy. Have you ever seen or been involved in a hierarchy where you're like, oh, I should be friends with her because she's close with this guy? Like, have you ever had to do any of that behind the scenes? I can't believe how much of that shit is in office work. So I just wonder if it applies towards that as well.
Oh, 100%. Except it's a whole nother animal because we're all drinking too. There's girls that are, on drugs as party atmosphere. So it's really... You have to learn the vibe of the club when you show up. And that's something that you usually get with experience. You notice who's making money, who's friends with management, who's fucking the managers, who doesn't like you. So, and it's also something that if you're kind of a more seasoned stripper too, that a habit is that you usually keep to yourself, for the most part, until you understand the environment that you're working in. So you're kind of a little slow to make friends for interaction because you don't know where this girl's coming from. She could be trying to rob you. She could be trying to be a friend. That is kind of something that girls do to kind of get a basis of the hierarchy because there obviously is one. Veterans are usually, top of the pyramid. And you kind of just trickle down there, but they set the vibe with management too. So you kind of just react based on that. And again, it's territorial. Every club's different. Every state's different, Yeah.
So I read an interview you had done. I always like to try and do as much research and dig through stuff. I won't say it because you skipped it earlier, but you got into the industry later. By the way, I was blown away. I thought 22, 23. So that's just me, right? Do you think it benefited you getting into this industry after having real world experience? By the way, she's not like 50 or anything, folks. She's just not 22. Okay.
Thanks for giving that shout out.
Sure. Well, they have to see your picture and go like, oh, she can't be. You would be the hottest 50-year-old anyone's ever seen.
Right? Are you joking? I put that on a t-shirt. I'm fucking 50.
Do you think it benefited you getting in a little bit late? Like, have you heard horror stories that girls have gone through in the porn industry and go, I didn't necessarily have to go through that? Some of the startup stuff where now you do your own self-booking as well. So I guess that you deal with that as well, but scammers and people. Do you think it was beneficial to get in not 18, 19 years old?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. And it kind of blows my mind that I was stripping because I actually find stripping much more dangerous than porn. So it kind of blows my mind that I started that early. But no, I do say I am fortunate that I started adult film when I did. I was a bit older. I was 27. And this is actually post OnlyFans. And so from my understanding, again, I wasn't in the industry, that there was kind of a renaissance period after OnlyFans and that there was a big shift in power from studios to performers and talent. So I think that was a huge help as well. I was actually pretty fortunate too. I was picked up by my first agent. Wasn't exactly the best one. Wasn't a great experience. My first shoot was a fantastic experience. But no, after that, I got picked up. I was pretty fortunate by AMA, Brian,
Sure.
So, he really kind of snowballed my career from there. And he kind of just put a good taste in my mouth. I was like, you know what? This is professional porn. And I do hear the horror stories. I do know what women have gone through and men in the industry. So, and I do think I did dodge a little bit of that too, based on my age. Even though I did look fairly younger when I started, people read the ID. They're like, oh, you're 27. You're not easily influenced, as a girl who was in a teen. So
sure. Yeah, I never really considered that before. Yeah, they'll look at you and maybe even bring you in, and then when they see that or whatever, they might go, "Oh, we can't." No offense to the guys out there, but the scumbags, I will say, they'll look at you and go like, "Oh, we can't get one over on this girl. Like she's not going to be tricked." Okay. Good.
Yep. So I have experienced that before. Or someone will try to book me and they'll see my ID and they'll be like, oh, ghosted.
Okay.
Yep. It's also an interesting experience.
I want to do a thing called Stat Check. We use the Internet Adult Film Database. These numbers are inaccurate. They are not going to be right. I say this to every female performer I have on the show. They all go, okay, good, nice. I give the numbers. They then go like this. Those numbers are off. I go, yeah, I know. So these these are going to be wrong. They don't update it often enough. So the amount of scenes that I have that I read you did, it's 120 scenes. Male performers you've worked with, 59. Female performers you've worked with, 17. One AVN nom? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That is correct, yes.
Didn't win though, right?
No winning. No trip through this year, but there's always next year.
There's always next year. So do you think you have a definitive scene so far? Like if I were to say, Sophia Cruise, nice to meet you. Your points are great. What would I watch to get all of you? To get, what the essence of what this Sophia Cruise brand is?
Ooh, that's a really tough question. It's a really good one. I would say my DP Diva, filmed by Maestro Claudio.
Okay.
And then that was actually my first DP scene too. That was with Donnie Sins and Milan Ponjevic.
Okay.
And I just think the energy that I carried, my aesthetic, I really pride myself on taking dick really well. So, and for me, I feel like my personality shined and Claudio somehow got it on camera.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have you, no names, but that sounds like the work of a good director. Have you also worked with bad directors? And what separates the difference between that? Is it an on-set vibe? Is it how they work?
I would feel it's mostly effort and what they're doing. When you show up and a director's just like, all right, I don't care. It's just another day. It's just like, you're not there to make magic. You're there because you just, you got to film a scene, But that's just based on vibe, whatever they're trying to do. Some directors, they just want to go out and make the best possible content that they can in that day. And then some people are just like, just burn the midnight oil.
Gotcha. It's funny. You said earlier, like, these guys couldn't trick me into it. And then I was looking, I was like, what are some of my favorite scenes of you? DP Diva, love that, obviously. Glory Hole Cream Pie. I mean, that's a real blunt name.
Love that one.
So they didn't have to talk you into the group stuff, it seems like. That was kind of a choice you made, where there was no one in your ear going like, what about Six Guys?
Oh, no way. That was all of me, too. I think there was supposed to be less, too, and I was just like, yeah, just do more. You can do more. That's okay. I actually think more was supposed to show up, so I kept changing.
So... Again, no one necessarily had to coax you into that. Is that just something you were excited to do? Had you done that previously in your life? Had you been in group situations before?
No, I was actually saving that for on camera.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I was really excited to do that, too. And I did plan that as well. I kind of held off. I know some girls don't exactly care about timing, but I kind of made sure to space out, what I was doing, because my first scene was anal, so I couldn't exactly save that one. So I saved the gangbang for, my next big, oh my God moment. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I know it was the hottest thing I've ever done, and I'm so happy I started getting into gangbangs because I was missing out.
Now, let me ask, do you like both sides as far as domination goes on it? Because I always see gangbangs as one of two things. It's the ragdoll girl getting, not violent at all, but tossed around kind of, and you're over here. And then there's the woman that's like, you here, you in me. Da, 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 da. What do you prefer? Do you prefer either of those?
I've been told, been referred to as a power bottom.
Okay.
So I am submissive. I don't have a dominant personality. I mean, I can do it obviously for work, but my preference is to be a sub. But I do like to please on an aggressive level. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but no. I just want to be like, yeah, please use my pussy to milk your cock. Yeah, do it. Yes. Yes.
No, I get that. I kind of like that too, and I try and talk my wife into that, but we've been together so long, it just kind of gets cynical and like sarcastic, and we've been working on that. Just tell me almost angrily what you want from me, okay? And not aggressive, not like dominant at all, but just, that's what I don't know. Now I'm just getting into my own shit here. Okay, I apologize.
Just do it. It's going to make me come so hard. Yeah.
What's the craziest week you've ever had of shooting? Now, you said a second ago, you built up, you saved off this and that. Have you ever had a week that was just like, at the end of it, you go like, frozen peas is what I'm going to be sitting on for the weekend because this was fucking intense?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with Angelo Gottschalk in Prague in Czech Republic.
I'm sure I've seen his work, yes.
Yes. Well, he is known for doing hardcore, and his 100% hell scenes are truly 100% hell. But they are such masterpieces. It's just such beautiful stuff that he does, but every shoot is anal. Okay. and they're all hardcore shoots. And when you're there, it's not like I'm there for a couple months, I'm only there for about a week or so. So I'm filming every day while I'm there. So first day is going to be DP, second day might be break. It might just be boy, girl, anal. Fourth day might be it's usually like 5 guys, gangbang. Fourth day might be 2 girl, DP, gangbang. Every day is DP if it's not anal. Yeah. That is certainly...
Okay. All right. Don't give me any numbers, obviously, at all. But do you leave that trip going, I'm going to buy a house now. I'm going to buy another one. Like, do you...
Oh, no.
Or no?
No, you do it for the content. European rates are half the rate in the U.S.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I had always heard... the Prague and this and that, they shoot hard over there. So I just figured, I don't know, weak dollar conversion rate, maybe it might work out. No good, huh?
No, I actually do it for less money. I do it just for the honor and just to see amazing shit come out and have me look like that. It's art. And I can't get that in the U.S., so I go out to Czech Republic.
Okay, all right. Come back home and buy a Matchbox car.
Yeah, you do it for the content. You don't do it for the money.
Totally get it. How does it feel to be the center of one of those scenes, a group scene with a bunch of guys? Does it get overwhelming at all? Do you feel that at all during the course of it? Do you feel any anxiety at the beginning, or is it just all excitement, pure all the way through?
I will say, when it's a group setting like that, I can get some anxiety if it is anal, simply because it's like your pussy is easy. You can manage that. But with anal, it can require some more planning. So for me, my biggest stress is just making sure I have a nice, easy day for everybody. We don't want to do multiple cuts, stuff like that. You want to show up and make everyone's life a little easier. So once I get in it and I'm performing and I'm like, then it's just like, there's no worry at all. But but like in anticipation for the scene, that's probably like my only anxiety.
Okay. Do you, I don't know how to, it's so funny. This is the first time in like almost 200 episodes I felt a little shy asking a question. But it leads into another question. Do you come during your scenes?
Oh, all the time.
Okay, so during a gangbang scene, do you eventually just kind of numb out, or are you still able to like finish towards the end of it?
No, I'm blessed. I am very sensitive down there. Okay. So for me, like I've had instances where I've like just had to pee really bad and I'll have an orgasm just sitting in a chair. Yeah. So, so for me, if anything, like I can get a little overstimulated, but at that point, like it just feels so good. It's like one of the best sensations.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. If you were to look back at some of your first scenes, do you still feel good about them? Not like morally or anything like that, but just like quality, your performance. I can't go back and listen to any of my early shows. I will have trouble listening to this one, okay, and editing, because I don't want to see myself. I don't want to hear myself. I don't want to do any of that. If you go back to your early stuff, do you have any of that feeling, or were you proud right off the bat? And both are acceptable, obviously.
I'm proud right off the bat, but then the performer in me likes to look and likes to critique myself too. So if for instance, and I'm like, oh, well, in that scene, he was over there. I'm going to make sure to pay special attention when I'm watching it so I can go, you know what? That's what I look like from his position. Like, now I see why he wanted me to open up in this angle. Now I see why he wanted me to do this,
Gotcha.
you know? And that's just something I just do just to improve, you know? That's
Gotcha.
that's my thing. And then I obviously watch it to get off too as well in bed. But
Are you able to do that?
absolutely, yeah. It's especially with my partner, you know, that's our first thing to review the sea, see how hot it is.
If I saw myself naked, I'd throw up, I think. I'm pretty sure. So congratulations on that one. Can we, how far can we talk about your partner at all? I've seen you mention it in interviews and this and that. I just don't know how comfortable it. I read you've been with, how do you refer to your partner?
I'm married.
Okay, husband. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And you never know. It's a scene partner. It's this. It's that. I understand.
Well, you never know with porn industry
Totally.
too. Some people don't like to label him as my partner instead of my husband. You know.
And I get that. I totally get that. Can I ask? And again, cut me off anywhere you want. Was this dynamic? It seems like. Did you get in this relationship before entering the porn industry?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so was there ever any discussion, or was it always like, cool, this is our relationship, was there ever anything like, you know, I don't know if you should do this, Sophia. Well, I'm really leaning towards doing this. Or was it always just encouragement all the way through?
Oh, total encouragement. He's been my biggest advocate. And the reason we even thought about it was because we would just post dirty videos of us fucking online for fun.
Sure.
Not even going for content. We weren't even making money off of it. We just, wanted to show people how we were fucking. And he was just like, you know what, honey? Like, you would be a great porn star. And I was just like, yeah? I was like, show me some stuff. Like, what do you think? And then I was just like, I can fuck like that. I can do that. And I'm like, I've already been a stripper for a while. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's do it.
So then was that the first time we had opened the idea of this relationship being open, or were you guys always kind of party and...
We've always been cool like that.
Okay,
We've never been a jealous type or anything like that. Yeah, I'm extremely fortunate to be in such an amazing marriage. Yeah.
Gotcha. I just always find that dynamic interesting. And I always wonder if there's boundaries set up. Do you, and this is the last question I'll ask about that, do you have and you don't even have to tell me what they are if you choose not to. Do you have shooting boundaries set up? Like your husband's like, I will fully support you this thing or working with this person or, doing this type of thing. It's not me. I really would prefer not. And then you have a discussion about it, or is it just all whatever you're comfortable with, we're running with?
We always have discussions about it. So there's nothing that I don't do that he doesn't know about or approves because it's a partnership. At least that's how we are. I know different couples have different boundaries, but there's nothing that I don't do. I have no secrets from my husband.
Gotcha. Okay.
I literally said the moment he walks in the door, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
No offense. I just thought of it. Your husband goes, I wish she would keep more secrets from me. Oh
yeah,
my God.
I know, right? Honey, when I was prepping for my anal scene today, this is what happened. He was just like, all right, I love you.
Okay, this is an odd question, and I have a couple more odd ones coming up towards the end, but let me ask, is there anything that you find, and I'll clarify this too, it is not an indictment of anyone that does any of this stuff. It is not saying this person's bad because they do this. I'm saying, is there anything that you find somewhat morally objectionable that the industry does or shoots or a type of content it puts out where you're like, it just kind of gives you the ick? And you're like, I don't think I would do that.
I would say public-facing kink play. Okay. Only because it's very difficult to get strangers to consent to your play. And I know we don't necessarily have this issue in the United States because we have obscenity laws. You can't do this stuff in public. But I do know, like, when you say, like, slut walks or, like, kink walks, like walking your sub, walking your dog, on a leash in public, you don't know if you're exposing children to that. And so for me, that's just, and I love public play too. Like I would love to walk down a street naked and have people take photos. But again, it's hard to get people's consent to that. So, and we kind of have to be stewards of, moral, I don't know, sexual morals.
No, that makes sense.
I don't know the phrase to put it, but we almost have to be stewards. We're examples in the industry and, and how sex should be done right. So for me, that always kind of puts a sour taste in my mouth,
I've had that. I've never discussed this on the show, but I'm a big fan of cum walks. I think they're interesting. I think it's a woman going out there shouting, look how slutty I am. I have this, blah, 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 whatever it is. But then, like, could you imagine, like, your kid being like, what's on that lady's face? And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, like if you're walking through a mall, like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
If you're in an adult-only setting, that's,
whatever.
That's cool. But it's, when you're in a public setting that's like extremely public, it's hard to get people's consent to doing that because they might not, they might have religious boundaries, it might be offensive to them morally,
Yeah, I never considered that. That's very interesting. So you don't have any problem with the step phase that we're in this last decade? Have you been a step sister, daughter, mother yet?
Oh, I have, yes, plenty of times. Okay. But my argument with that, though, is that if you don't have it available, well, what's going to happen?
Sure.
So people are going to go out and get that fantasy no matter what. So I find that porn is a safer way for people to, live out their fantasies.
Totally. Yeah. It's not my kink, but I have heard other performers say, when you really hear it, is when a performer's like, I was real close to my brother growing up. Like, I can't shoot this kind of stuff now. And then I accept that too. Again, no judge. My thing is, as long as there's no kids or dogs in the room, I don't give a shit what anyone's doing. Just have fun.
Exactly. It should be that easy, but it goes into like the darker side of it too. Like I've been strippers for so many years. I've had lap dances with gentlemen like, oh, you look like my niece. You look like my daughter. You look like, but you know what? If you don't have an outlet for people, that have those thoughts, sexual violence happens. And I hate to say it, but it has its place in society, Yeah.
Unfortunately it does. And I think you're right. I think that line can probably eventually be crossed, but you're giving them, a fantasy of what they want versus them getting it themselves. I think at some point you have to go, not you, and nothing you've said is, qualifies, but you have to go like, no, you shouldn't have that fantasy, whatever the push of that line is. And I don't think the step stuff necessarily crosses that, Let me ask you, what does success look like to you in this industry? Is it numbers? Do you want 2 million followers? Is it awards? Do you want to be covered in the room back there? Is it enough so you can retire by 40 and never have to do this again? What is success to you?
Oh, that's a tough one. For me, it's recognition by my peers. Okay. I always value the fans, but to have directors, co-talent, to go, oh my God, you killed it. I don't necessarily need awards or anything like that, but to get recognition from peers, that for me is what does it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything that is still on your sexual bucket list, either on camera or not on camera?
Yes. So I still have not done double anal penetration yet. So I am planning on doing that this year, though.
How do you, look, I could understand if it was a bunch of like small dick guys like all of my friends, okay? You're working with. How
do you know what their dicks look like?
Because I've sucked them. This is no. How do you even prep for that? Do you take like a Campbell's soup can and sit on it? Like, how does this work?
For me, I have my own system. Now, I have stretched my ass to take, the amount of size that'd be appropriate for double anal penetration. But, you just work your way up to, a little stretch and toy. That's, that way they slide right in.
I don't think people have any idea how much side work performers have to do. You're doing trainings on your off day.
It's muscle training. It's a muscle,
100%. They think you show up, you have sex for an hour, you get paid $20,000, you go home and never have to do anything else. And
I've heard that so many times, especially at the strip club. Yeah,
it would be
They're
so
like, oh my
great.
God. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great though? Yeah, I would love it.
Yeah, then everyone would be doing it.
Is there any person, and this will be the time to call you out on it, is there any person you're still wanting to work with? Male, female, director? Is there anyone top of your head, name-wise?
Oh, definitely Jules Jordan. I have yet to work with him, and I've seen his work, obviously. He's a legend. I do have some more. I would like to work with Dredd this year. Okay. That would be very exciting. I'm always up for a challenge, because that certainly will be. Dredd
looks like if I got the death penalty, they would go, do you want the electric chair or Dredd? And I would go, the electric chair, please.
The chair,
yeah. I saw on your whatever X, I call it Twitter still. I saw on your Twitter profile,
same.
Right? Yeah, it's cuter. Okay, you're a gamer too. Do you have a Twitch channel yet?
I do. Yes, I do Twitch.
Is it just starting out? Are you growing it? Where are we at with it?
I am growing it. It's kind of been hard to navigate and, scheduling when it comes to filming. But this year I've actually kind of gone into the groove with it the past couple of months, which I'm pretty happy about. And I do game pretty consistently. So I figured, it's better to be on and, have fun with people and fans. It is a totally different vibe too. I'm usually in pajamas and drinking coffee. People have no idea what I do during the day. They're just like random Twitch people that found me.
Now, are you trying to keep these two worlds completely separate? Or have you ever been like, the pajamas are nice, but I bet I'll get a lot more viewers if I throw on a bikini top? Or I don't know what they hit you with. I don't know what the laws are over there, the rules, all that shit. Are you trying to keep them completely separate?
I'm trying to keep them somewhat separate. If you do dig far enough into my profile, you can see, and you do see fans interacting me that know me from my adult work. They'll be like, oh, that's Sophia. You have no idea who she is or what she does. And I do sex it up too. Like I'll do the sexy style and then I'll do pajama style. Okay. It's just kind of what my mood is for gaming in the day.
Hypothetical, complete hypothetical. If I were to promise you the same amount of money and the same amount of fame and recognition, everything else you're looking for at the end of your life, and you can either continue being a porn star or you would be a Twitch game streamer and still receive the same accolades, the same, all that, which would you prefer?
Oh, porn.
Okay. All right.
100% adult. Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, I fucking love my job.
See, I do interviews with performers who are great and do a great job performing. And most of them, it feels like this is a job. Like in the same way when I log on every morning to my day job, this is a job. Yeah, I get some joy out of it, but It's a job. You seem like you really do just kind of love this shit.
I do. Yeah, I'm very fulfilled at work, literally. Okay. Literally and figuratively.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Last question, and this is an odd one, but I ask all performers this. There's no judgment. There's no whatever. What is your opinion on what age females should be able to get into the adult entertainment industry?
I feel that 21 is a good age. I do think that lower than that, you're kind of pressing it a little. Now, again, what I like to joke, porn is an entry-level job. We all come from different walks of life. I've met girls who are 40 in the mind, but they're 18 years old.
Sure.
So, but based on experience, I would say that 21 is probably the better age to go as opposed to 18. But again, I do think it's situational.
So that's the discussion we always have. And performers who got in at 18 tell me 21 all the time.
Yeah.
The one thing, total anecdotal, example here, but the 16-year-old girl who gets kicked out of her house, she finally turns 18. She wants to start something. You can't be like, it's tough to be like, no, you're not allowed to do that. Like, she probably has more maturity.
She's an assenting adult.
Right. Right.
Bodily autonomy.
So we thought maybe we kind of came to a consensus and I talked it out. What if it was 18 to 21, you cannot shoot anything other than solo scenes and only for yourself. You can work in OnlyFans, you can work a Twitter, you can, whatever it is you're going to do to build. And then over those 3 years, if you like this, if you enjoy this job, if you want to stay with it, if you've learned how to work the back end of it, 21 comes around, here's your Brazzers, here's your Bang Bros, whoever it is. What do you think of something like that?
Well, for me, yes, as a social idea, I think that it has its place, but politically, I see it as an infringement of rights.
Sure.
Because you're also limiting to because we're protected under the First Amendment. And I do like to remind people that. And I believe once you start putting restrictions, it can start going to different ways. And, and who's to say, God forbid that 20-year-old wants to bang 5 guys,
Sure.
in a safe setting. At least she's on a porn set as opposed to, in a dungeon somewhere,
At that point, she and everyone else there should be tested. She's being paid for it. There's witnesses or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going to get into porn and you're still in your teens or your young 20s, you're going to go out and do these sexual activities no matter what. So for me, in my mind too, porn has its place because, we do have our horror stories, but at least you're providing, for the most part, a safe, consenting environment for girls to do this,
Sophia Cruise, my guest for the evening. You know exactly where you can find her, at Sophia Cruise. Please make sure you check out the links in the episode description. You have to, because the content she's putting out is insane. If you're broke, even just go to her Twitter. My God, the stuff on there is hot enough. Okay, I clicked the link.
You're gonna make me blush.
I thought it was a link tree at the top, your tiny URL, and I clicked it and I went, well, that is my first DP gangbang with 4 BBCs. Interesting. Okay, not quite a link tree. I'll be purchasing that later.
Oh, thank you. Leave me a good review.
Sophia, thank you so much for coming on with me tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure.